For this exercise, you're going to basically do normal single leg stance. Again, I'm thinking about neutral spine as always. So slight lordosis, and all I'm going to do as a variant of normal single leg stance is I'm encouraging my patient to plant their heel into the ground and basically perform a glute set. So I'm basically just activating and squeezing my right glutes right now. For this, if you don't want them to actually work on balance, they can always hold on to something. You can see I'm getting a little wobbly, but you want the emphasis to be the fact that when their heel hits the ground, the glute should be able to turn on. As we discussed in the lecture, during that gait cycle, when the heel hits the ground and the patient's in mid stance, that's really when the glute has to activate. So for this exercise, you're just sort of triggering a glute set while the patient is in weight bearing. Another component of this to be aware of is the frontal plane control of the hip. So you don't want them standing there with like this hip drop, just kind of sitting on their Y ligaments and then trying to squeeze their glutes. So you want a pelvic neutral also in the frontal plane. And as they maintain that, they're doing a glute set, and you can mess with how long they hold it. You can do a couple of seconds, 5, 10, and then secondary to that, you can encourage them to practice gait, where when their leg hits the ground in that initial contact and loading phase, they're sort of deliberately activating their glute. And you don't want them to do that for the rest of their lives, but early on when they're still trying to figure out how to get their glute to activate when their foot's on the ground, they can practice and think about that and reinforce the impact of the exercise.